Hello guys, let me just make some. Alright, I am Alvin and I am from Institute of Knowledge, and today our discussion is converging functions. Now many students, they are struggling with the fact to understand that most of the times we tend to be thinking about functions, that is, if I add many things infinite number of times, I would generally get the answer infinite. For example, if I give you 1 rupee now, tomorrow I give you 1, day after tomorrow I give you 1, and so on and so forth. I keep giving you 1 rupee every day. At the end of the infinite number of days, I would get infinite amount of rupees. So that is, in a way, everybody tends to think that everything, whether I keep getting infinite number of times, I would get infinite number of amount or infinite number of sum. The sum of infinite quantities is always infinite. So today we are going to think of certain exceptions to these rules. So what are the exceptions? Such functions which converge to a particular value are called converging functions, and converging functions are normally attributed, or it is linked to the concept like derivative, integration, that is calculus part. So converging functions are have to play a very important role in these subjects. Now let's take for example one such converging function. Suppose that I am at point A, and right 10 meters from where I am standing there is a wall. So this is a wall, and I want to run towards that wall. So obviously I will start moving towards that wall. I will start running towards that wall, and finally I am going to meet the wall. Fine, fair enough. Now the conditions now I'm going to put while I'm running is that my first step is I'm going to jump 5 meters, that is halfway. Alright, then my next step should be half of the previous step. That is, next step I'm going to jump 2.5 meters. Alright, so my next step is going to be half of 2.5, that is 1.25 meters, and so on and so forth. So how many steps will it require for me to reach to the wall? Just think about it for a moment, and whether how it is linked to the topics that we are considering over here. The topic is the converging function, and we are discussing about how many steps will it take for me to move from point A to this point B, ultimate point, that is towards the wall, and how many steps will it require for me to reach that ultimate point B. So if you would think about it, that there might be some number of steps, right? If you're going to add it all, it should come to 10 meters. So that means that I'm going to go through 5 meters, I'm going to add it to 2.5, I'm going to add it again 1.25, and whatever next term is going to be 1.25 divided by 2, and it is going to be 0.625 meters, right? And so on and so forth. I'm going to keep on adding, and all this addition should come 10. So probably you will be now aware of the fact that there might be some number of steps that I'm taking that will lead me to this point B. So this function, this particular number of steps, if we add, to how many steps do I get the answer 10 meters? The answer is, to be very short, it is going to be infinite number of steps. See, that means if it is true If I'm just going to write if it is true, because I still didn't prove it, but if it is true, that means that if I add infinite number of numbers, they add and do not give me the answer infinite. They add and they give me the answer 10. So there are infinite number of terms adding to get the required answer, that is 10 meters. So now it's my task now to prove that it would take infinite number of steps, which is very easy to prove. Let's see this problem in a different way. So we are going to pose this problem in a different way. Like, see, my first step is what? It is half of 10 meter. So it is going to be 5 meters, right? So my next step, now my next jump towards the wall is going to be 2.5 meter, which is, this is 5 meters, and the remaining 5 meters, half of this is 2.5. So it is going to 2.5 meters. My next step is going to be half of this 2.5, which is also the half of this 2.5. So which is 1.25. So almost close. But my next step is going to be even smaller, which is half of this, which is 1.25 as we have calculated. Then 0.625, which is half of this. So as you can see that as I'm approaching towards the wall, initially I'm moving very fast towards the wall, and afterwards I'm just going to take next step, which is half of the distance, remaining distance. So every time I take the new step, I'm going to be some distance left, because I'm taking the remaining distance, half of that distance. My jump is going to be that much more smaller. In that way, I'm going to be running towards the wall, or I'm going to be hopping towards the wall. I'm going to get closer and closer towards the wall, but I will never reach it. So these are the converging functions that we are talking about. This function can be written mathematically as if the distance is 10, that is, the first step is equal to 5, then second step is equal to 2.5, then it is going to be 2.5 can be written as 5 divided by 2, then it is going to be 5 divided by 4, then it is going to be 5 divided by 8, 5 divided by 16, 5 divided by 32, and so on. If I add infinite number of these terms, I am going to get a 10. Any less than infinity is not going to give me an answer 10. So that is going to prove us that, if I add